So what does an M-shaped designer look like, and why is this valuable for Visa? Here's an example for a multi-skill designer. Now, this designer is a UX generalist, but brings deep expertise in data visualization and is maybe ramping up their user testing skills. And if you look to the left, maybe they're also growing their design operations capabilities and getting better at stakeholder management, right? But other skills could also be domain centered. So maybe this designer has worked extensively in the loyalty space and really brings an in-depth understanding of the business. And there is a lot of value in growing our talent this way because it enables strategic design and critical thinking for our products and services. It really helps us play a more strategic role within the product ecosystem. We all know a diversity of thought and a diversity of skills help us innovate better. And we can really easily navigate between teams and functions. So we can function very effectively in complex team structures without getting lost with design as the red thread. But growing these skills is easier said than done, right? We've all got our day-to-day jobs to manage. And this really needs considered thought. It really needs additional effort on the designer's part. So it's not that easy. So let me share with you how one of our designers approached this. So this is Mel, and she leads design for a loyalty platform. And Mel's challenge was to figure out how to upskill on the job while delivering an optimal customer experience for the product. Now here on the top row, you can see the teams that Mel worked with. So she worked with our internal product, tech, and data teams. She also worked with external partners like banks and merchants, and of course, our customers who are the most important stakeholders. And on the second row, you can see the goals. At first glance, it looks like everyone shares common product goals, right? But when we dig a bit deeper on the third row there, we can see that stakeholder needs are quite varied and relevant to their function. So this could be people looking at needing to meet their revenue goals or trying to address regulatory challenges. Each of them have their own priorities. And as a designer, Mel had to understand not just product goals, but also what people in teams she worked with considered important or challenging, but also balances out with customer needs at the same time. So to really engage, she needed to look beyond core functional design skills at things maybe that we don't traditionally consider design skills, but could and will increasingly become part of an enterprise designer's toolbox. So in this case, here on the last row, you can see business communication skills were key with so many different stakeholders to manage. This was a data-centered product, so knowing how to leverage data as a tool for design was very critical. We worked with many partners, managing them and helping them understand design was important. And finally, so were critical thinking skills to make the right decisions for the customer. Now, when we map these back to our skill canvas, we found there's something like data analysis that sits under user experience there, could be acquired through for some formal foundational training, and maybe that would be more effective to begin with. But all the cross-functional business acumen and creative skills, for instance, could be learned informally on the job. And there are many ways to do this, right? And one way we did this is through how we work together. Mel opened up the design process. So you can see there, she ran iterative workshops from immersion to ideation. She engaged 15 plus subject matter experts from cross functions. And what this helped the design team do was boost their own business knowledge down to a very, very granular level. But they also learned how to get non-design stakeholders to understand the value of design through doing and understand the role of design through interaction. Another way the team learned was by establishing feedback loops, now both instant, casual, and structured, as you see here. The quarterly retros helped the team better understand what worked and what didn't. So it was really useful to see how we could solve for challenges that stakeholders were facing on things like product validation or technical constraints. We also ran product demos for a 360 audience. So this helped the team really think critically about how to shape the customer experience narrative when speaking to a diverse group of stakeholders. And in this last example, we're going to talk about active learning, where it's not just learning on the core job that you're managing or the core product that you're working on, but actively taking on side projects that can help you ramp up skills quickly and in a practical fashion. So in Mel's case, for instance, as you can see here, she helped run a very comprehensive UAT exercise for a partnered loyalty product, where she gained great insights from a platform that was going to go live faster, that she could then bring back to her core product and think about how this affected the customer experience challenges that she was dealing with on the product that she was driving. So, in summary, what we found worked for us was setting near term achievable goals that helped us learn, like starting to run more cross functional design workshops that helped us grow business acumen. Interacting purposefully with teams helped us get actionable feedback. So, we learned to manage our stakeholders better, and experimenting by taking on side hustle projects. This really helped us bring a new perspective to how we design products.